Hey, folks, how's it going? Hey, I'm so sorry for the delay. We have lightning going on outside, just technical difficulties because we're always looking to bring you guys just more, just in terms of, just more in everything in terms of presentation and everything. So sometimes we run into our technical difficulties, but definitely glad to have you here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I really wanted to bring a different style, a different presentation to this, but technical difficulties, life goes on. So we are going to go on. And for those of you who do not know, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and for the last 20 years, I've been a sexual performance coach with African Fly, the liquid aphrodisiac. And as a coach, of course, I got to talk about stress. Stress is huge, folks. Especially in these days and times, of course, it's huge, but it actually affects our sex lives in ways that we never think about. And so what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, today, and we'll continue on next week, is we're on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We actually put out a video, and on Thursday evenings, what I like to call Thursday Night Live, I go through that information, answer your questions, and help you. I mean, that's the whole goal of this, is to help you overcome stress. And so let's go ahead and hop into that, because today we're going to talk about how men can beat stress and performance issues, anxiety, if you will. So if stress is causing you issues in your performance, you're thinking about all the time, your things are not performing the way they are supposed to. Well, today I'm going to break down not only what you should know about performance anxiety, but also, more importantly, we have 9 tips. These are all free, things you can do free that will help you just overall in your life dealing with stress, not only the stress of living, but having that stress being taken care of so you can have a better sex life. So and so specifically, I want to talk about the basic natural reason. One reason why stress affects our sex life the way it does. And once you get that concept, things become a lot easier to understand. And of course, I'm going to give you the ways to correct these issues, and they are free. Now, if you are new here, please go ahead and subscribe. This is what we do on the weekly. We, myself, my people, my team, my folks who are behind the scenes, we come together to bring you the information that you need for your health, for your sex life, so that you can be better. And so go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. And of course, we're here for your comments. So if you have any questions, go ahead, hit us up in the chat section. In fact, I've been talking for a little bit here. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, go ahead and type into the chat section. Let me know that you're here. Hey, Lavinia, hey, how are you doing? All right. Student of the game, Ozzy. I like that. I like that name. Hey, can you add size to your man downstairs? Yeah, you can. I'll talk about that a little later. It's a little off topic, but it actually, this is a part of it. So I would say listen to all of it so you get a full understanding of what is going on. So let's go ahead and get started. So there are 5 key performance areas that are affected by anxiety. And so, when we're talking about what we want to get fixed, what is our goal? We start with the goal. The goal is to make sure that you're able to get up when you want to, you can keep it up, you can prevent premature ejaculation, and you can also take longer. Sometimes you can take too long to reach an orgasm. It becomes uncomfortable for you and uncomfortable for her. So, and also there's always that wonderful thing of getting back up. It was fun the first time, you want to get back to it the second time. And sometimes you may be too taxed for that. So what can you do in terms of stress to control yourself so you can have all of these things not be an issue for you? You can have it. And the first thing to understand, a very important concept, is that the point of sex is to create life. And that really is the point of sex. Hey, Eddie. So it's important to understand that because, for men, we give life and women give birth. And, a lot of times people try to say that men and women are equal. I always say we're equivalent. We have equal intelligence, but our roles are different for good reasons. And so with the man, if we're giving life, you're giving sperm, you only have one shot. You only have one time that it's going to, you have this opportunity to have the healthiest child possible. So your erections are actually tied to the need for sex and the need for health so you can have a healthy child. The reason why you're actually on this planet is to procreate. Everything else we pile on top of that. So when you're giving life, obviously, you need to be in the best shape possible, the best health possible that's necessary for the success of the child. So, in order for you to have a better life, a better child, you need to be as healthy as possible when you're having sex. And so, with that in mind, there's a mind-body connection that ties all this together. And performance anxiety is a combination of mental and physical stress. There's two sides to this. Obviously, we're within the same body, but when I often talk about men in terms of how we deal with sex, what we have to pay attention to, I call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, it's a physical thing. If you have an issue, it's a physical thing. 20% of the time, it's a mental thing. Now, that's when you're in balance. When you're out of balance, that physical side is still heavy. You have to have the physical side working, for everything to work. But on the mental side, if you are stressed, that changes the game all over the place. And we'll break that down because, when you have an erection, you can have an erection without thinking about it. It's called a spontaneous erection, a morning erection. And you actually have an erection about 5 times while you're sleeping. So you're possible to have erections all the time. However, on the other side of that, you can't have an erection if your body isn't working with you. So if you've been doing all the wrong things, stressing yourself out, then, stressing yourself out just in terms of what you eat, how you sleep, how you're exercising, then you can't just think, I'm just going to have an erection. A man with impotence issues can't think his way out of impotence. It is connected to your body. But like I said, we're actually one unit combined. So if you're highly stressed, then things don't go the way you want to on a physical level. So let's break that down because really high chronic stress raises cortisol. And this is an important thing to remember. Cortisol is actually the enemy of testosterone. A lot of people think it's estrogen. It's actually cortisol. So yeah, Eddie Armstrong, performance anxiety of some. Yes, that's important. It's important, that performance anxiety. So, but the thing we have to remember though, is that we are now living in an abnormal, unnatural situation. We're talking about just everything that's in our culture basically didn't exist 150 years ago. We're talking about technology stress. So you have the stress of things coming at you, people telling you how to think and bloops and bleeps and all that stuff. You have sleep stress. And it's because people can stay up much later. You can stay up because we have lights to stay up. We're eating more than ever before. Oh, lost mic is there. Sorry, folks. Let me get things situated here. Hey, sorry about that. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it right here because this information is pretty important. I want to make sure that you get it. Give me 1 second here. Okay, yeah, let's get back into the game. All right. Yep. I hope we are still here. You can hear me well. All right, let's get back into it. Sorry for that little hiccup right there. But yeah, we are really in an unnatural state, including how much meat we eat. The way we eat meat right now is literally impossible in terms of being able to eat an animal at every meal. That's just new. So, and the diseases and all the issues that we're having right now proves that out. We're also exercising at the least in our history because we have so much technology. It's like, well, I don't need to go to the store or walk anywhere. I can just have Uber, bring it in. And it's so bad. Think about this. Our toilet seats are actually high. That's the reason why a lot of people have issues with their bowels, because our toilet seats are high and we're not getting the full range that we need for things to function correctly. That's how insane, that's how different we are, how out of touch with nature that we are. And of course, that's going to have an effect. And so everything that I always talk about is really just going back to nature. I mean, if anything you're getting out of this, just think about what was happening, about a good 150 years ago, it wasn't like this in the way that we live. So our goals in terms of what we want to have ties into that. So if we want to get the erections on demand, if we want to get to be able to stay up as long as you want to, and have an orgasm when you want and get back up when you want, then dealing with stress is a part of that picture. So let's talk about some things that you can do for free. It doesn't cost you a thing to do these things. It's really just getting back to nature. So that includes, the first thing I like to do is make an actual checklist. It's important to have a checklist of things that are affecting you in terms of, whether it's like, I'm worried about the car, I'm worried about the kids, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. If it's just swimming around in your head, you may not get to all of it. If you just take the time to write it down, and I understand that sometimes it can be painful to write down everything and see it. But if you're not thinking about it, if you're thinking like, oh, I'm not thinking about it, I'm not worried about it if I don't have it written down, if I'm not trying to get rid of it, it's still there, obviously. So I would say write it down and get it done. Okay. And also remember that some things have nothing to do with sex. I mean, sometimes we just have other things in the back of our mind that are affecting us. So, it's important to pay attention to all levels of stress that are in your life and get rid of it. That's a good goal to have. And you also have to, for my fellas and for the ladies, understanding testosterone timing is hugely important, because your testosterone builds while you're asleep. And during the day, that's the reason why you have morning woodies and stuff like that. But during the day, your testosterone decreases by 20%. So that can affect your timing and the way you're thinking, like in the morning, it's like, oh yeah, I'm so ready to go. And by the afternoon, it was like, I don't understand. Why don't I have the energy? What happened to my erections? Well, your testosterone went down by 20%. And so there's some things that you can do to deal with that. And one of the things, of course, is just having foreplay. Having foreplay helps a lot. I mean, obviously you have to pay attention to what you eat, how much you sleep, all these different things that help with the overall picture. But in terms of understanding your timing, yeah, if you're going to have sex later in the evening, have more foreplay. And you can also just take a nap. Just take a quick 10 to 15 minute nap, and that'll help also. Go for a walk in nature. Just go out for a walk. Even if you have just, like me, I have a bunch of plants. I'm about to get some more plants in here. It's important because if you're around nature, your cortisol actually drops. This has been proven in hospitals, been proven. And in fact, in Japan, they have a whole culture, I would say, of people who just walk around in nature because it's that healing, it's that relaxing. Also, of course, sleep. Sleep is hugely important. Sleep is important because it reduces performance anxiety by increasing testosterone and lowering cortisol. So make sure you get that sleep in. And you want to take, like I said before, take some naps. Naps help more than a lot of people think. Oh, wow. We have lightning and we are live. We have lightning and other things going on out here. Let's see. Oh, also, of course, a huge one is move to a plant-based diet. And the reason why that is so important is because, like we said, stress is caused by cortisol. You eat meat, cortisol goes up within 30 minutes. So that's something that you need to pay attention to. All right, we got a question from Brendan. What if it doesn't stay hard? Does running raise cortisol? Okay, I'm gonna get to those questions in 1 second. I think I know how to bring that all in. But yeah, let me just finish this out, and I hit those two questions because those are important. I want to make sure we get those in. So yeah, we also want to keep a diary of your performances. What did you eat the day of? What did you eat? How much did you sleep? Did you drink a soda before? Did you have drinks? Have some alcohol during the day or the day before? Once you know what your pattern is, it becomes easier to fix the problem. That's hugely important. So, having that diary, you're able to go back and say, oh, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. That's the reason why my performance wasn't well. Or I did this correctly. I did this right. Oh, I did that right. So now I'm better with my performance. You also want to, like I said before, make sure you have that foreplay embedded into your routine, not only just later in the day, but just all the time. If the more foreplay you have, the more testosterone you have, the longer you can last. Who doesn't want that? Just go ahead and have some more foreplay. And it's also hugely important to communicate. Communicate what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Sometimes, it's like we just think, oh, it's just supposed to work. But there's something special about you in terms of like, you like being kissed on the ear, you like being touched, you like, certain things turn you on. You need to communicate that with the person that you're with. So that will actually alleviate stress in the moment for those guys who have, don't have the great performance. If you're communicating like, oh yeah, I'm premature ejaculation, just let her know. I'm about to come. You're too fine, girl. You're too fine. Hold on, slow down. Yeah, just communicate. Let them know. And a bad performance is not a big deal. This is the last one. A bad performance is not a big deal. You're going to have hundreds to thousands of sessions of sex. So, if you're having an issue, just go ahead and get it fixed. Just pay attention. There's things that you can do. I've talked to guys who are like 71. They've made changes in their lives. They've turned their lives around in terms of their health and their sexual performance. So it can be done. So let me go ahead and get to those questions right quick. What if it won't stay hard? That's a loaded question. It's only a loaded question because if we were in a coaching session, I would just run through a list of questions. What I usually tell guys the first time we talk is on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how do you think you fit on the sexual performance scale? That's what that scale is. So 10 means everything works. Spontaneous erections, erections on demand. 5 means most of the guys that I work with are 5 to 7s. It's like things are not working the way, it won't stay hard. That's about a 5. A 1 is nothing works. So if you're at a 5, there are certain things you can do. Obviously, we have to look at your lifestyle. It's not just one thing, but looking at how much you're eating, what you're eating, your sleep patterns, your exercise patterns, and there may be some other things that are going on, including stress, that's affecting your erection. So you may be thinking like, okay, I'm good. I'm having this erection. It should stay hard, and it doesn't. And it could be just a question of like, like I said, try having sex in the morning when you have more testosterone. Is it the same then than it is in the evening? There are different ways to look at that particular situation. So please make sure you subscribe to Fly Zones. That's on africanfly.com. And while on Fly Zones, we send out emails, and also we're opening up a coaching sessions very soon for more people. In fact, we're looking to do a Facebook group so we can get those questions answered, and you don't have to pay the rates that I charge my normal folks, from $200 to $500 a head. So for the guys who are like, oh, that's a little bit much. But that's the work one-on-one and get that answered. Does running raise cortisol? Yes. Running long distance. And let me be very clear about this. When I say running long distances, I'm not saying don't exercise. I'm not saying don't run long distances. People want to be too literal sometimes. It's just recognizing that if you're consistently running, you're consistently doing cardio, your body at some point is going to start slowly breaking down. I mean, you feel it. That's the reason why you run for a long time, and then you start feeling more and more tired. Of course, the more you do, the longer you can run, but you can wear your body out by running too much. I've experienced this myself when I was doing P90X and Insanity at the same time. It was not a good look. It was just way too much cardio. I'm thinking I'm looking better, feeling better, but I was wearing myself out. My erections weren't as strong. So it can affect you. Yes, indeed. So cool. I hope I answered those questions. Let's check and see if we have any other questions. Is it okay to take ginkgo biloba in capsule form? Damon's math shop. Oh my goodness. Let's get the money right. All right. Math. It is okay. A capsule is to me is preferable in a tincture form, which is a liquid form, like African flies in a liquid form. A powdered form, it still gets into your system. That's a good thing. The issue with capsules, especially with pills, the issues with capsules is that it gets into your stomach first. So is getting hit by stomach acid. And so you lose some of the effectiveness of it because it's not able to get through the stomach acid. All of it's not getting through the stomach acid to your large intestines, where, that makes the difference. So But but I would say if that works for you, if you're not able to get the tincture, that is a great form to have it in. Powdered form is great. Uh, let's see. Oh, you're welcome, Brennan. Hey, appreciate that. Jarius, hey, good evening. Good evening, nephew. Appreciate you. Levinly, I hope I'm saying that. Levinly Samity. Hey, just ordered African fly. Hey, I appreciate you. If you have any questions, that's what we're here for. This is the reason why we do this. And I want to say to folks, I do work with African fly. I am the coach with that. And so, of course, I'm going to recommend that you take African fly. But the reason why we give so much information is because if you're taking just this product, I mean, mind you, we're talking about taking a teaspoonful, 3 teaspoonfuls a day. You have a huge body. Your body is it should not be affected so heavily by something by itself. You also need to have your health in place. And yes, that's lightning flashing out there. Okay. So, and this is just one last piece I want to get through. I know I hope you guys have learned from this. I hope this is making sense to you. I hope you're able to make the changes so that you can get that, that love back in your life. So a couple of things I want to say is that humans don't come with an instruction book. So we're now at the point where you can get on the internet. There's a ton of information on the internet that will work for you. And, we have to learn because there is more information than ever. And a lot of people aren't paying attention. They're just, looking at cat videos and things like that. You can do it. Whatever issue you have, go on the internet and do some research and figure it out. I mean, it's your body. It's your responsibility. So you now have more information than all of your ancestors combined available to you. Figure it out. It's not only just get the information, but also execute. We have 90 videos, over 90 videos now, on my channel. And it's just go through some of the things that we talk about, some of the questions that are brought up in terms of raising cortisol when you're running. We talk about that in different videos. We hopefully can catalog it a little bit better. I'm coming out with a book. So it's a ton of information and more of it keeps on coming. So I'm getting some action tomorrow. Can I use it? Yeah, if it's tomorrow. If it's late where you are, someone's asking about African fly. If it's late where you are, be careful if you're not having sex tonight because it's a stimulant. It will keep you awake. You take African fly. I just told your body to get ready for sex. So, but yeah, first thing in the morning, afternoon, during the day, great. What I think about long jack, don't have a lot of experience with long jack, so I don't want to speak good or ill about it. When I say I know about it, I haven't used it, so I can't speak to it directly. But yeah, there are tons of, and this is the thing that's important to understand. There are over 22,000 edible plants on the planet. Yeah, it's a lot. That's the reason why humans have exploded over the entire planet because there's something for us everywhere. So some of the products, some of the herbs that we have in African fly, may not work for you, but there's some other herbs out there. So if long jack works for you, hey, go for it. Okay. Cool. So I did want to just say this. Hold on one second. Here we go. I just want to wrap up. I don't want to hold you guys too long, but it's important that you get this information about stress. It's hugely important that you execute on it. Those 9 things, go back, take a look. Look at the video that we have on my channel, Brian Ayers. Look at the video that we put out earlier. It's more concise, more condensed. And, in the description, it'll give you even more information on what you should do. But remember that you're pre-programmed not to have sex while you're under heavy stress. Someone puts a gun to your head and said, get an erection. More than likely, it's not going to happen unless you are extremely freaky. Something wrong with you, man. So yeah, you're not supposed to be under duress while you're having sex. Performance anxiety is a combination of that mental and that physical. And make sure you're handling both sides of it. There's a lot of people think like, oh, this person looks fit, so they're having, they can perform well. That's not always the case. All the changes you need to make are just taking you back to nature. So it's not anything that's radical. There's no, like, I need a pill or, lights inside of your body or something like that for you to get healthier. That's what you just going back to nature. That's all you're doing. And we want to make sure you get that list of what is wrong, what is going wrong in your life. I know some people, I got this big, huge problem. My spouse. That very well could be. That's the reason why next week we're talking about relationship stress. But for my people who is past just that, there's other things that are affecting you. Make sure you write those down and go attack that stress list so you can have a better life. And like I said, think about it. There's so much information that's available for you. You can research enough to figure out how to live for a good long time. Of course, you have to execute, but you have the correct information. It's no longer a cigarette company controlling the airways and telling you you're supposed to smoke cigarettes when you're not. You can get the right information now. So improving size. Okay, improving size is actually the highest level of this. So when we're talking about basically, and let's be careful, a lot of ads were out there saying you can grow 4 inches in 4 days or something like that. Come on now. Your body doesn't work like that. Cause I would be 6'4" right now, but yeah. So in terms of growth, you need to be on the higher end of that sexual performance scale that I mentioned earlier. So, if 5 is I'm having problems with my erections and 10 is everything works perfectly, to get larger, you need to be sitting at a 9 or 10. And when I say get larger, we're talking about getting 30% larger, because most of us are 30% smaller because we sit and we're not doing the things that we need to do to help our circulation. And so the biggest thing about penis enlargement is, of course, circulation and testosterone, because the bursting and burning of testosterone is what fuels an erection. And so having that fuel there, you can have an erection for a longer time. You have more, the blood is circulating in there more, and it expands. So you have to be at a certain state for that. You can't be like, okay, I'm at a 4 or 5 and I just want it to be bigger. I'm going to take a pill and boom. Of course, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, if you do the things that we recommend. In fact, of course, we have a video on penis enlargement and other videos talking about erections. And, once you just go ahead and take a look at that, that would go into deeper detail. But it is possible. It does work. It isn't just taking one thing. It's a combination of your lifestyle so you can get to your largest size possible. Other than people attaching weights to themselves in ways that are horrible, that'll get your penis not to work anymore. You're just the size that you were at, that's the largest size you're going to be. But you can get 30% larger, and, women feel that, you're actually physically in them. So yeah, there we go. So, very much check out the video and that'll go into detail with that. Mm-hmm. Hey, PK Gaming. Hey, appreciate you. I hope, Ozzy, that worked for you. So let me go ahead and close out. I don't want to hold you guys too much longer, but a couple of things, of course, please make sure to check out the next video that's coming out next Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to be live again on Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer those questions. The one that's coming out next week, already shot that video. Got some people already seen it. It's hot. It's hot. We talk about relationship stress. This video is actually a little bit longer because that's just a deep one. But yep. Cool. I'm glad that I want to say thank you for everybody attending, for all my people who stayed throughout. Please keep on checking back. We're looking to do some things to just give as much as possible to you so you can have all the tools, all the success that you deserve in life when it comes to not only your sexual health, but not only your sexual performance, but your overall joy. That's what we're here to do. Once again, I want to say thanks to my team that's in the house, outside of the house, that helps set all of these things up to make sure we operate properly. I want for all of you guys, please stay safe, wash your hands, cover up, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think you'll be thinking about sex if you have coronavirus. That's not an attractive thing. For several reasons. First of all, making the other person sick, and second, just hacking on them all the time. Yeah. So please stay safe. All right, fellas. Appreciate you. I will see you next time. And of course, this is Uncle B saying, get your game up. Peace out.